I'm going to show you how to draft a halter neckline. So now we're basically doing the opposite that we did with the boat neckline, and we're coming in towards the neck area. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, just like we did with the boat neck, place your ruler so that it follows the angle of the shoulder line, and I'm coming in 1 inch on the neck side. Okay, so the width of the halter neck strap is going to be minimal. You don't ever want it to be less than 1 inch, and obviously our pattern has got seam allowance in it, so we're going to keep it that way. We're working on a 1/2 inch seam allowance here, so if my strap width is 1 inch, then my pattern with seam allowance will give me a width of 2 inches. So now from that new neck point, I'm measuring in 2 inches. And there is my new shoulder width. Okay, and then here at the center front, I'm also coming up 1 inch, because you want the neckline to be quite high. And I'm gonna draw in my neckline. Once again, you want that where your two mirror pieces are going to meet on the center front. You want to keep it straight for a bit so that it doesn't make a little dent there. I'm just going to draw it in with pencil so that I can just see that I'm happy with my neckline curve there before I draw it in with Sharpie. And remember, I'm just using the Sharpie so it shows up better, but you'll definitely be using a pencil and an eraser so that you can make adjustments. So just marking that there. There's my new neckline. Okay, so this is the first pattern where we are going to adjust the armhole as well, the armhole depth. I'm also coming down 1 inch, lowering my armhole with 1 inch. And once again, let's rather see, we just want a nice smooth transition there between the front and the back. So let's just take a pencil to see if we're happy with that curve. Yeah, I think that looks nice. So let me just draw it in here. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of, we took off quite a bit of fabric here, so there is the chance that you will get some gaping here, just like with the V-neck, because once again you've got a line that's a bit more on the bias. It depends on your fabric. It depends on your cup size, but I usually like to do a little adjustment here just to make sure that this new armhole curve lies nice and flat against the body. So just like we did with the V-neck, I am drawing a line from the dart point to roughly the center of this curve. You can just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exactly in the center, but just more or less. Okay, and then for a starting point, I would just take in 1/2 inch. I would just overlap this 1/2 inch, and obviously it will be absorbed into your dart. Just want to mark the 1/2 inch dart here. So it's 1/4 inch on each side. just hooking that up. Okay. And now I am cutting my dart legs. It doesn't matter which leg you cut, as long as your dart can open up. And remember, just cut to the dart point. And when you're cutting the second one, don't cut through it. Okay, we just want to be able to slide this closed. So just to the point. Now I'm sliding that closed. You'll see that your dart is opening up there. So we're dumping that excess into that bust dart. Okay, now you can see that you'll just need to redraw your neckline. Sorry, my hand slipped there. So we're just going to cut. I'm just going to do this so that I know these lines aren't relevant anymore. So I'm just going to cut out on that line. Same with that one. It's always a good idea to work in different color pencils so that you don't get confused with the lines. I'm just marking my new dart legs here. And this is exactly the same like we did with the V neckline. Just placing a piece of paper behind. So I left out quite a crucial step in truing up the bust dart with our V-neck draft. So I just quickly drafted another one. You'll see I laid out the bust radius now because we already know how much to take in. And this is obviously relevant to all patterns where you need to true up the dart again, where you put some or where you dumped some excess into your dart and your dart got bigger. So you just want to true it up again at the sides, and what that means is that when you sew up the dart and fold it down or fold it up, I'll be folding this down, then you just want to make sure that everything lines up nicely at the side seam and that there's no excess fabric. Okay, so the most important thing, like with all darts, the dart legs need to be the same length. Now that one is 5.5 inches. So we're just going to mark, okay, I actually marked to the right place. Okay, so that's my new dart leg is coming up to there. Now I just want to measure the width of the dart is 2.5 inches. So that's 1.25 will be my middle point. You can draw that in. Just to know where you're going to be folding it now. And then your tracing wheel again. You can perforate that line. Really helps to do the top one as well when you're folding down. Obviously the opposite when you're folding up. So now they're matching up nicely at the side, and you take your tracing wheel again and you're just making a smooth line over that dart. And that's what's going to show you is your new dart bulk. Now I just want to show you what you're going to be doing at the back. Remember, whatever you do with the shoulder strap on the front, you're also doing on the back so that they can match up. So we're also going to come in one inch at the back here, and then because this is a 1 inch width shoulder strap, we're making it 2 inches to include the seam allowance. So there we go. And then we're also lifting here 1 inch this time as well. Remember, we didn't do it with a boat neckline, but with a halter neck I like everything to be nice and high. But remember, that's also, you're the designer in this case, so you are welcome to leave it at that center back point if you so prefer. I'm just drawing in that neckline. Yep, I'm happy with that. And then also remember, we came down 1 inch at the side on the front, so we have to do the same on the back so that our side seams match up. And we're just hooking up that armhole. Remember, I just wanted that to make a nice transition there. I do not take out any fabric on the back because the back neckline is a bit wider. There is a bit more tension on the back than there is on the front, so you shouldn't have any problems here. So yes, that is the back for the halter neckline. Well, that's it for our neckline adjustments. I really hope that you're feeling inspired and that you're going to try one of these styles. Remember, our next video is about sleeve adjustments. To make sure to keep an eye on your inbox or subscribe to this channel to get notified when that video drops. See you next time.